All right, so the Miami Dolphins win the football game. Listen, was it the prettiest of wins? No, but you know what? A win is a win, especially against the Patriots, who, let's be honest, they just seemingly get the ugliness out of you when you're playing against them. Bill Belichick has a way of just seemingly getting his teams to hang around at spots, but Miami did enough, and today we're going to be talking about Tua and how he played in this one. I didn't think it was his best performance. I think we've certainly seen more. We're at the point now where, maybe I'm just too pro Tua at this point because I kind of expect more from him, but he still made some really good throws and had some of those classic Tua moments that I thought were enough to allow the Dolphins to hang on and win this football game. So yeah, let's just get into it. Let's start off with this play. I actually want to start off with a couple of negatives. I actually thought Tua didn't have his best start to this game. I thought he did miss some throws, which is uncharacteristic of Tua. Usually I feel he's a bit more sharp than he was here. Like this one, for example, it's a man coverage play. You have a receiver who's, it's running a go route, which kind of, in theory, this might actually not be a great situation. It is Jalen Waddle one-on-one, but with two safeties deep, there's questions as to whether or not it could get open. But on a 3rd down and 7, if the safety isn't playing far enough towards the sideline, it's something Tua could look towards. And as you see when the play begins, it actually is working out pretty well, and credit to Tua for noticing it and getting the ball there in a hurry. So Jalen Waddle, one-on-one on the outside, he is open right here. This is a good situation for Tua. However, there's no getting around it. That was an underthrown football. There were a few of these early on. I'm not saying it was crazy or awful or anything, but definitely, again, for someone like Tua, who we kind of expect to be incredibly accurate, I didn't think that he was quite as accurate as we're used to seeing from him. Like this one was another one, and this one might not even be a missed throw. It might be a miscommunication. It's hard to say exactly, but what's going to happen is that it's actually a really clever play concept, and part of why I want to show this play is mostly just to showcase what McDaniel is doing and why I'm such a fan of McDaniel. I remember when he just recently got a head coaching job, there was an interview. He was still with San Francisco at the time, but it had been announced he was going to be with the Dolphins. In the interview, he was saying, they were asking him, why do you throw pitches just to then run it back up the middle? No one does that. Everyone, when you have a pitch, you go towards one side or the other. And his response was, because no one does that. We purposely do things that other guys aren't doing because that just gives us a little advantage there of our defense. The defenses aren't expecting that. This play is a good example where they're going to have a player who's going to be in motion right when this play begins, but what he's doing is he's, instead of running just a go route like what you typically expect when you're in motion, he's going to be running sort of a curl route, which is a very clever concept. As you see, he's going to get towards the sideline, and, it's open. The defender is playing pretty far off, because, again, you're going to be running a deep route. Got to make sure I defend that. Really good concept from McDaniel. However, Tua's throw is a bit off, and again, part of me does wonder, was Berrios supposed to stop a little earlier on that play? That's what I'm thinking, and my guess would be yes, actually, but I just don't know. So again, we saw a couple of these clunky plays. I don't know if this one's on Tua or not, but it might have been, and I saw him, not look his best, but again, these are just a couple of nitpicks. He then had his classic Tua throws later on. Like, for example, this play, what's going to happen is it's going to be a zone coverage play, and you have a receiver running over the middle. We've seen this a million times, right? Run to play action, get the linebackers to move in, and again, McDaniel, this was I thought McDaniel was great in this one. He dials up these play actions at the perfect time. Watch how well it's going to get the linebackers out of position. Look, as you see, Tua does run this play action. Linebackers way out of position. Still not the easiest of throws, though, right? You want to be able to make sure you hit your receiver in stride. You don't want to have to force him to make a tough catch. However, this throw is right on the money. Again, that's just what Tua does, right? This is not even noteworthy. If you're a Dolphins fan, you're like, yeah, he made that throw. That's what he does. Like, it's not even worth talking about almost because he just does it so consistently at this point. But again, that's kind of Tua's value, right? Is not necessarily the throws that he can make that no one else can make, because I don't know if there are those, to be honest. But that's, again, what kind of throws can Tom Brady make that no one else can make? I don't think there are those either. Not to say Tua is Tom Brady, but just to say that there's a lot more to football than just being able to throw off balance 65 yards down the field. You can absolutely play at an elite level doing stuff like this, and that's exactly what Tua was doing. Also, this one, another great play where it's going to once again be Braxton Berrios. But again, it's not something that you never see, but usually you don't see something quite like this, where it's, a lot of times when you run these types of routes, where you kind of fake as though you're running a quick slant route, typically just go back towards the outside. You don't go further deep as well, but that's what McDaniel is going to have Berrios do here. And so because of that, when Tua takes the snap, the defender is going to move further in, assuming it's not going as far deep, and now there is a window, but this one not as big as some of the other ones. There's also a defender off screen down the field, just off screen, so he can come in and make a play. Tua is going to have to throw this ball very accurately, but that's exactly what he does. Perfect throw, and they're able to get the ball close to the end zone. They scored shortly after. So, again, really good play call, good, well-ran route. But at the end of the day, the quarterback has to make the throw. And I kind of sometimes view this as like, how in basketball they say it's a make or miss league? Well, in football, it's kind of a make or miss league as well. You got to make those throws, and Tua certainly makes them. Let's talk about the interception that happened with 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter, as it's going to be, Tyreek Hill running a deep shot in a one-on-one matchup. So, yeah, throw it to him. Right? Like, that's kind of a little bit how you could view this stuff of watch what's going to happen when this play actually starts. Tua's going to take the snap, runs a play action, eventually looks towards Hill, and Hill definitely was wide open for a chunk of this play. Like, if Tua had timed this one perfectly and through the line drive, this would have been an easy completion. Maybe not easy, but there was definitely a bigger window, I should say. However, by the time Tua got his head kind of fully turned around, at that point, I think that the window had started to close, and I do wonder exactly what he was doing on this play, because part of me wondered, did he just not see the safety? But I don't know. I think it's very possible he said, you know what, F it, Tyreek Hill down there somewhere, right? Which honestly isn't the worst strategy. However, this time it does not work out. So is that a good idea? Is that a bad idea? I don't know, but it's the idea Tua had. And again, while it doesn't always work out, there are plenty of times when it does work out. And for all I know, he did just miss the safety, but I don't think that's what happened. And, I'm not going to crush him too much for it personally, although I know other people probably will. So yeah, those are kind of my thoughts on Tua and how I thought that he played. Listen, yeah, there were some miscues, obviously, that, botched snap at the end, with a little over 2 minutes left. That can't happen. You don't want to see that happen. And certainly this Dolphins defense, I thought, played really well. And the fact that they're going to get Jalen Ramsey back is certainly scary for, other teams that are having to play against them. But this Dolphins team is for real. And the reality is, Tua's numbers were pretty good. If this is his off day, like, you'll take that as a Dolphins fan, because this is still a good performance. So, yeah, as a whole, very impressed with Tua, very impressed with the Dolphins. They, go in on Sunday Night Football and beat a, I still think tough New England Patriots team, despite their 0-2 record. So, yeah, those are my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you, and of course, as always, thanks for watching.